All right. Ready to dive into a self-help classic.
Oh, absolutely. Always up for a good deep dive.
This one is Louise Hay's You Can Heal Your Life. I mean, over 30 million copies sold.
Wow.
That's a lot of folks saying this book really changed their lives.
Yeah, it's pretty incredible.
So why? What's so special about it? Well, that's what we're going to unpack today, right? Hay's core philosophy.
Yeah.
That connection she makes between our thoughts, our beliefs, and our experiences. Ready for some aha moments?
I am.
How are you?
Always. Let's see if this resonates with you too, listener.
What I find fascinating about Louise Hay
Yeah.
is how she takes these, big ideas, sometimes kind of abstract ideas, about personal growth and makes them practical, like her central premise,
Okay.
that our thoughts create our reality.
Okay.
It runs through the whole book, and it can be really empowering.
It can be very empowering.
Yeah.
I love that quote from the first chapter.
Life is really very simple. What we give out, we get back.
Oh, yeah.
But if I'm being honest, sometimes, I find myself rolling my eyes a little at that whole thoughts become things idea.
Oh, yeah.
Can we really, manifest a parking spot just by thinking about it?
I think it's a bit deeper than that, to be honest.
That's okay.
Hay isn't saying you can magically conjure anything you want
Right.
just by thinking it.
Yeah.
It's more about how our beliefs and expectations shape our, perceptions and actions.
Okay.
Like, for example, if you believe you're unlucky, you might miss opportunities because you're not even looking for them.
Okay, yeah, that makes a lot more sense.
Yeah.
It's not about, denying reality, but
Right.
about understanding how our mindset influences what we see and how we act.
Exactly.
Okay.
And Hay even goes into how these beliefs often stem from our early experiences,
Okay.
especially in childhood.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, our interactions with our parents, the messages we receive, they can stick with us and impact our self-worth,
So if someone, say, constantly heard they were clumsy as a kid,
Yeah.
they might grow up expecting to trip or drop things. And maybe those expectations make them more likely to, to have those kinds of accidents.
That's precisely the kind of pattern Hay explores.
Interesting.
Yeah. And while she, acknowledges the impact of parents, she emphasizes this idea of victims of victims.
Okay.
So she argues that our parents were likely acting from their own unresolved issues.
Right.
So it's about understanding,
Yeah.
not blaming.
That's such an important point.
Right.
I think it's easy to get stuck in resentment, but understanding can lead to compassion,
Yeah.
both for ourselves and the people who might have hurt us.
Compassion is key.
Yeah.
And it's a bridge to one of Hay's big themes, loving the self. She talks about looking in the mirror
Yeah.
and saying, I love you.
Okay.
Now, I know that can feel awkward or even cheesy for some people, but
I have to admit, I'm one of those people.
I get that.
It feels a little forced.
I get that. But think of it as a way to counteract that negative self-talk.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's so common. He even gives us this great affirmation.
Okay.
In the infinity of life, where I am, all is perfect, whole, and complete.
Wow.
It's about recognizing your inherent worthiness,
Okay, I'm starting to see the power in that. Instead of focusing on our flaws, we're choosing to focus on our wholeness.
Right.
A shift in perspective.
And it's about being present.
Okay.
Hay emphasizes that dwelling on the past keeps us stuck. She has this powerful message.
What is it?
The point of power is always in the present moment.
So if I'm constantly replaying a mistake I made, I'm missing out on the opportunity to create something different right now.
Exactly. Every moment is a chance to choose new thoughts,
Yeah.
new actions, and ultimately a new future.
That is incredibly empowering,
Right.
but also a little daunting.
Yeah.
I think a lot of people struggle with change, even when it's positive change. And Hay acknowledges that, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
She has a whole section on resistance to change.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, our egos, our comfortable patterns resist shifts,
Yeah.
even when those shifts are for the better.
Right.
It's like that story she tells, about the woman who finally decides to leave a toxic job,
Okay. Yeah.
but then suddenly gets a flat tire on her way to a job interview.
Oh.
Her subconscious was trying to keep her in the familiar,
Wow.
even if it wasn't healthy.
That's such a clear example, of how resistance can show up. It's not just procrastination. It's all sorts of unexpected ways, really.
And one of the biggest hurdles to change, according to Hay, is this need
Okay.
This need for things to be a certain way. It often comes from fear and insecurity, and it creates so much suffering.
So if I'm constantly stressing about my kids getting perfect grades, it's because I'm clinging to this idea of how things should be.
Exactly.
Rather than accepting what is.
He would say releasing that need is crucial for finding peace and freedom.
Yeah.
She even has an exercise.
Oh, does she?
It's called releasing the need.
Okay.
Where you identify those things you're clinging to and consciously choose to let them go.
Okay.
It might involve repeating affirmations.
Okay.
Things like, I release the need for this to be different. Or, I trust that everything is unfolding as it should.
Right.
It's a practice in surrender and faith.
That makes a lot of sense. It's about shifting our focus from what we don't have to what we do have and finding gratitude for the present moment.
Yeah.
And speaking of letting go, Hay talks a lot about forgiveness, right?
Forgiveness is huge in Hay's philosophy.
Okay.
She sees it as essential for healing.
Yeah.
Both forgiving others and forgiving ourselves.
Yeah.
Holding on to anger and resentment, it only hurts us in the long run.
Right.
She even references A Course in Miracles. All dis-ease comes from a state of unforgiveness. It's a powerful statement about how our emotional state impacts our physical well-being.
I can see how holding on to anger, it creates tension and stress.
Yeah.
And that could manifest in physical symptoms. But forgiveness is easier said than done, especially when someone has really hurt you.
It's definitely a process.
Right.
And it doesn't mean condoning someone's actions.
Right.
Hay emphasizes it's about freeing ourselves from the burden of that resentment. She even provides a visualization exercise.
Oh, really?
Called dissolving resentment.
Ah.
Have you ever tried anything like that?
I haven't, but I'm curious.
Okay, yeah.
How does it work?
It's about shifting your energy,
Yeah.
You picture the person you need to forgive. As a small child, innocent and vulnerable. And you surround them with love and light.
Okay.
Wishing them well.
Okay, yeah.
I know it sounds a little woo-woo, but Hay says it can be really powerful in releasing negativity.
I can see how that could help to shift your perspective, maybe, and even generate some compassion for that person, like you're seeing them in a new light.
It's about recognizing that we're all on our own journeys, and often the people who hurt us the most are the ones who are hurting themselves.
That ties back to that victims of victims idea.
Right.
It's about recognizing that interconnectedness, of our experiences and cultivating compassion for both ourselves and others.
And once you've done that inner work, Hay's all about taking action.
Right.
She has a whole chapter dedicated to building the new.
Oh, interesting.
Where she talks about affirmations, visualization, and different healing modalities.
So she doesn't just talk about these concepts. She gives you practical tools to apply them.
Right. It's like she's saying, okay, you've identified those limiting beliefs.
Yeah.
Now let's create something new and positive. She uses this metaphor
does she?
of planting seeds. Our thoughts are like seeds. They have the potential to grow into our desired experiences.
That's a great visual. It emphasizes the power of our thoughts.
Yeah.
And the importance of tending to our mental garden. And Hay takes a holistic approach to well-being, right? It's not just about changing our thoughts, but about taking care of ourselves on all levels.
She sees the mind, body, and spirit as interconnected.
Okay.
She even has the list.
Okay.
Which links emotional patterns with specific physical ailments.
Oh, wow. Like, for instance?
For example, she suggests that neck pain might be related to a stubbornness in letting go of the past.
Oh, wow.
You see.
That's fascinating. So our physical symptoms can be clues to what's going on emotionally and mentally.
That's the idea.
Interesting.
The list isn't meant to be a diagnostic tool.
Okay.
But a starting point for self-reflection.
Right.
Hay encourages you to listen to your body.
Yeah.
And explore those connections.
So it's not just about thinking positive thoughts. It's about taking care of ourselves on all levels.
Exactly. And it's about consistency.
Okay.
Hay stresses that cultivating new thought patterns and maintaining well-being, it's an ongoing process. She even shares her personal daily routine for inspiration.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
She had a specific routine that she followed every day. What did that look like? What kinds of things did she do?
Well, She was a big believer in starting the day with intention. For her, that meant expressing gratitude, doing her affirmations, and spending time in meditation.
I'm really bad at sticking to a routine.
Oh, yeah.
I start with good intentions, but then life gets in the way.
Right.
And I fall off track. What would Hay say about that?
Hay would likely say it's about finding what works for you.
Oh.
There's no one-size-fits-all approach. It's more about experimenting with different practices.
Okay.
Journaling, visualization, spending time in nature.
Right.
And figuring out what nourishes your mind, body, and spirit.
That makes sense. It's not about being rigid.
No.
But about finding practices that support you
and
that you can actually stick with.
Exactly. And she emphasizes that it's not about perfection.
Okay.
It's about progress.
Right.
Even small, consistent efforts, they can make a big difference over time.
That's encouraging.
Yeah.
It's not about being perfect. It's about showing up for yourself each day.
And speaking of showing up,
Yeah.
Hay dedicates a whole chapter to the topic of work and career.
Oh, yeah. I remember she has this great affirmation about work.
Yeah.
Something about loving yourself and therefore working at a job you enjoy.
That's right. That's a powerful vision for what work can be. I love myself. Therefore, I work at a job I truly enjoy doing. One that uses my creative talents and abilities, working with and for people I love and who love me, and earning a good income.
It's like she's saying work shouldn't be a chore.
Yeah.
It should be an expression of who you are and what you love.
Exactly. And she believes that when we value and appreciate ourselves, we naturally gravitate towards work that aligns with our passions and talents.
But what if you're stuck in a job you hate? I'm sure a lot of people can relate to that.
Yeah.
What advice does Hay have for those situations?
That's where the power of thought comes in again.
Okay.
Hay would encourage you to shift your perspective.
Okay.
Start by looking for the good.
Even in a challenging environment.
Right.
Focus on the positive aspects of your job. Appreciate your coworkers.
Okay.
And find ways to bring more joy and creativity into your daily tasks.
So it's about finding those little pockets of joy and gratitude, even in a less than ideal situation.
And it's about releasing those negative thoughts and beliefs about work.
Okay.
If you're constantly thinking, I hate my job, or work is a drag, you're only attracting more negativity into your experience.
Right.
Hay would encourage you to shift your self-talk to something more positive.
Okay.
Like, I am open to new and fulfilling work opportunities.
Yeah.
Or, I am worthy of a job that brings me joy.
It's about recognizing that our thoughts have power.
Yeah.
And that we can create change by choosing more empowering beliefs.
And if you're truly unhappy in your current job, Hay would encourage you to take action. Update your resume.
Okay.
Network.
And actively seek out opportunities that align with your passions.
It's about taking responsibility for your own happiness and well-being.
Right.
Rather than waiting for someone else to hand it to you. And speaking of taking responsibility, Hay has a fascinating chapter on success.
Yes. But she defines success differently than most people.
In what way?
For Hay, success is about more than just external achievements or material possessions. It's about living in alignment with your true self.
Okay.
Expressing your unique gifts. And experiencing joy and fulfillment in all areas of your life.
So it's about living a life that feels authentic and meaningful, regardless of external validation.
Exactly. Hay argues that every experience, even those we might perceive as failures, can be valuable lessons that contribute to our growth and evolution. She encourages us to embrace challenges, learn from our mistakes, and see each experience as an opportunity for growth.
She even reframes the concept of failure, suggesting that it doesn't really exist.
That's right.
Wow.
Hay believes that there are no failures.
Okay.
Only outcomes.
Interesting.
If something doesn't work out the way we planned, it's not a failure. It's simply an opportunity to learn, adjust, and try again in a new way.
It's like that famous quote, I haven't failed, I've just found 10,000 ways that won't work.
Exactly. It's about embracing the journey with all its ups and downs and recognizing that every experience is a valuable teacher.
And Hay even offers a powerful affirmation to support this shift in thinking.
Yeah.
Every experience is a success. I love that.
Me too.
It's such a simple yet profound statement.
it encourages us to embrace our imperfections, to see the value in every experience, and to celebrate our growth and progress along the way.
And speaking of celebration, Hay also dedicates a chapter to prosperity. But it's about more than just money, right?
Absolutely.
Okay.
For Hay, prosperity is a state of abundance that encompasses all areas of life. Finances, relationships, health, creativity, and more.
So it's about feeling abundant and fulfilled in every aspect of your life.
Exactly. It's a holistic view of prosperity.
And she believes that our beliefs about money and prosperity can greatly influence our experiences. She encourages us to examine any limiting beliefs we might have inherited or developed over time. Like that old saying, money is the root of all evil.
Precisely. Or beliefs like rich people are greedy or I'll never be able to afford that. Those beliefs can create blocks to experiencing financial abundance.
So if I believe I'm not good with money, I might unconsciously sabotage my financial success.
Exactly. Hay even encourages us to challenge those beliefs and to replace them with more positive and empowering ones. Like, I am open and receptive to the abundant flow of prosperity that the universe offers.
Wow.
Or, I am worthy of receiving financial blessings.
Those affirmations help to, like, reprogram our subconscious minds and to align our energy with the vibration of abundance.
And she also talks about the importance of giving and receiving.
Oh, okay.
She believes that when we give freely and generously, we open ourselves up to receiving even more good in our lives.
It's about creating a flow of abundance where we're not just focused on accumulating wealth, but also on sharing our blessings with others.
And she encourages gratitude for the abundance we already have.
Okay.
Even if it's not as much as we desire.
So instead of focusing on what I lack, I should focus on what I have and feel grateful for it.
Exactly. It's about shifting your focus from scarcity to abundance.
And Hay also has a fascinating chapter on the body. She sees the body as a wise teacher. Constantly communicating with us through its sensations and symptoms.
It's remarkable how she connects the physical with the emotional and mental. She believes that our physical ailments can often be linked to our thoughts and emotions. Remember the list we talked about earlier?
Yes.
It connects specific physical conditions with their potential mental and emotional causes.
Can you give me some examples from the list?
Sure.
I'm curious about how she connects these seemingly unrelated areas.
For example, she suggests that headaches might be related to self-criticism.
Okay.
Invalidating your own thoughts and feelings, or putting too much pressure on yourself.
So if you're constantly second-guessing yourself or striving for perfection, you might be more prone to headaches.
That's the idea. It's about recognizing that our thoughts and emotions can manifest in physical ways.
It's like our bodies are trying to tell us something.
Exactly. And the key is to listen. Hay encourages you to pay attention to your symptoms and to explore the potential emotional and mental patterns that might be contributing to your physical discomfort.
So it's not just about treating the symptom, but about addressing the root cause.
And Hay also emphasizes the importance of self-love and self-acceptance, particularly when it comes to our bodies.
So it's not just about eating right and exercising, but about having a positive relationship with our bodies.
Exactly. Hay encourages us to appreciate our bodies, to treat them with kindness and respect, and to release any judgment or criticism we might be holding on to. She suggests practices like looking in the mirror and saying, I love you, to ourselves, or expressing gratitude for all the amazing things our bodies do for us.
It's about shifting our focus from what we dislike about our bodies to what we appreciate about them.
And it's about recognizing that our bodies are not separate from our minds and spirits. They are all interconnected. And when we nourish and care for ourselves on all levels, we experience greater health and well-being.
That's one of Hay's core messages. True healing encompasses all aspects of our being, mind, body, and spirit.
Exactly.
It's a holistic approach to healing and to life itself. And speaking of Hay's approach, I'm curious to hear more about how she applies these principles to specific parts of the body. She delves into that in the book, right?
She does.
Oh.
Hay has some really interesting insights about how the different parts of the body can reflect our emotional and mental states.
Okay, well, I'm definitely hooked. I can't wait to
Hear more about that?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
So you're curious about how Hay connects specific body parts to our emotional and mental states.
It is fascinating, isn't it?
Yeah, it's such an intriguing concept. Where do we even begin?
Well, she talks about a lot of different parts of the body, but
Yeah.
let's start with something, simple,
Okay.
like the eyes.
Okay, the eyes.
Hay suggests that problems with the eyes, whether it's difficulty seeing clearly
Yeah.
or even just feeling eye strain, might represent a difficulty seeing something in our lives.
Oh, like we're metaphorically blind to something.
Exactly.
That's fascinating.
She'd say it could relate to the present,
Okay.
the past, or even the future.
Wow.
It's about asking yourself, what am I not wanting to see? Or what truth am I avoiding?
So if I'm someone who tends to ignore problems, hoping they'll go away, maybe I'd be prone to eye issues.
That's an interesting connection. Hay would definitely encourage you to look at what you might be avoiding.
Okay.
And it's not just about
Yeah.
big, obvious things. It could be
Yeah.
subtle patterns in our thinking or behavior.
Okay. So the eyes are about seeing. What about another part of the body?
Okay.
What about the back?
Oh, the back.
That's something a lot of people
Yeah, that's a big one.
struggle with.
Hay believes that the back represents our support system.
Okay.
Think about it.
Yeah.
Your back literally supports you.
Yeah.
Helps you stand tall.
Right.
So problems with the back
Mm-hmm.
could indicate a lack of emotional support,
Okay.
financial insecurity,
Mm-hmm.
or just a feeling of being unsupported in life.
So if you're carrying the weight of the world on your shoulders, your back might start to ache.
It is.
That's a pretty literal interpretation.
Hay is all about those connections.
Okay. Yeah.
She might suggest exploring whether you're taking on too much responsibility, whether you're asking for help when you need it, or whether you're allowing yourself to receive support from others.
That's so insightful. It's not just about like getting a massage or popping a pain pill.
Right.
It's about addressing the underlying emotional and mental patterns.
Exactly.
What about other parts of the body?
Yeah.
What about the hands?
Yeah, hands are interesting.
Oh, okay.
Hay sees them as representing
Yeah.
our ability to hold on to things or let go of things in life.
Okay.
So problems with the hands, arthritis, carpal tunnel,
Yeah.
even just clumsiness
Right.
could indicate a difficulty letting go of the past, a fear of moving forward, or a tendency to cling too tightly to things.
So if I'm someone who has trouble delegating tasks or letting go of control, I might be more prone to hand problems.
Hay would say it's worth exploring.
Interesting.
What are you afraid to let go of? A relationship,
Right.
a job,
Yeah.
a belief, or even just a way of thinking.
Okay.
It's about loosening that grip,
Right.
both literally and figuratively.
It's like that saying, if you love something, set it free.
Yeah.
Maybe that applies to more than just romantic relationships.
And speaking of love, Hay has a whole chapter on relationships.
Right.
Remember how we were talking earlier about how our beliefs shape our experiences? That applies to relationships too.
So if I believe I'm not worthy of love, I might unconsciously sabotage my relationship.
Exactly.
Interesting.
And Hay takes it a step further.
Oh, does she?
She believes that our relationships are a mirror.
Okay.
Reflecting back to us, our own beliefs and patterns.
Okay.
She even has an exercise.
What is it?
Where you look at someone who bothers you and consider what aspects of yourself might be reflected in them.
Wait, so if I'm constantly annoyed by my partner's messiness, it might mean I need to look at my own tendency to be controlling.
It's not always that literal.
Okay.
But it's worth considering.
Okay.
It's called Us versus Them. It's about bringing awareness to our projections.
Right.
And seeing how we might be contributing to the challenges we experience in relationships.
So instead of blaming the other person, we're looking at our own role in the dynamic.
And for those seeking romantic love, Hay encourages you to focus on loving yourself first.
Okay.
And to cultivate a sense of self
Yeah.
and self-acceptance.
Right.
She argues that when you love and appreciate yourself,
Yeah.
you naturally attract loving relationships into your life.
It's like that saying, you can't pour from an empty cup. You need to fill yourself up with love first before you can share it with others.
And she also talks about the importance of releasing past hurts and resentments in order to make space for new love.
Okay.
Remember that visualization exercise?
Which one?
Dissolving resentment.
Oh, yeah.
That can be a powerful tool for letting go of negativity from past relationships.
It's about creating a clean slate, both emotionally and energetically.
Exactly. And Hay would say it's about being open to receiving love.
Oh, okay.
She suggests practices.
Yeah.
Like repeating affirmations.
Okay.
Visualizing yourself in a loving relationship. And simply being open to the possibility of love entering your life.
It's about creating a space within yourself where love can flourish.
Right.
Both for yourself and for others. It's like you're sending out a signal to the universe that you're ready for love.
And speaking of sending out signals, Hay also dedicates a chapter to the topic of work and career.
Right.
She believes that our work should be a source of joy and fulfillment, not just a means to an end. Remember that affirmation we talked about?
The one about loving yourself?
Yeah.
And therefore working at a job you enjoy.
That's the one. It's such a powerful vision for what work can be.
Yeah.
Hay believed that when we value and appreciate ourselves, we naturally gravitate towards work that aligns with our passions and talents.
But what if you're stuck in a job that doesn't feel aligned with your passions? What if you're feeling uninspired or unfulfilled?
Well, Hay would probably start by asking you to examine your beliefs about work.
Okay.
What are the stories you're telling yourself? Are you believing that work has to be hard?
Right.
Or that you have to sacrifice your happiness for a paycheck?
I think a lot of people have those beliefs. We're conditioned to think that work is supposed to be a grind.
And those beliefs can create a lot of unnecessary suffering.
Right.
Hay would encourage you to challenge those beliefs.
Okay.
And to start envisioning work as something that can be both fulfilling and financially rewarding.
It's about shifting your perspective and seeing the possibilities.
And it's about taking action.
Okay.
If you're truly unhappy in your current job, start exploring other options.
Okay.
Update your resume, network.
Right.
And actively seek out opportunities that align with your passions.
It's about taking ownership of your career path and creating a work life that feels good.
And it's about remembering that success is not a destination. It's a journey.
That's such an important reminder. It's easy to get caught up in the pursuit of some external marker of success.
Right.
But true success is about so much more than that.
Hay defines success as living in alignment with your true self, expressing your unique gifts, and experiencing joy and fulfillment in all areas of your life.
It's about living a life that feels authentic and meaningful, regardless of external validation.
Exactly. And she emphasizes that every experience, even those we might perceive as failures, can be valuable lessons that contribute to our growth and evolution. She encourages us to embrace challenges, learn from our mistakes, and see each experience as an opportunity for growth.
It's like that saying, what doesn't kill you makes you stronger.
And Hay goes even further, suggesting that there are no failures.
Okay.
Only outcomes.
Interesting.
If something doesn't work out the way we planned, it's not a failure. It's simply an opportunity to learn, adjust, and try again in a new way.
It's about shifting our perspective from a fear of failure to a curiosity about
what we can learn from each experience.
And she offers a powerful affirmation to support this shift in thinking.
Oh, really?
Every experience is a success.
I love that.
Yeah.
It's so simple, yet so profound.
It really encourages you to see the value in every experience, even the ones that feel challenging or painful.
And speaking of challenges, Hay also dedicates a chapter to the topic of prosperity. But for her, prosperity is about
Yeah.
More than just money, right?
Absolutely. For Hay, prosperity is about abundance in all areas of life.
Right. Finances,
Finances,
relationships,
health, creativity,
and more.
So it's about feeling abundant and fulfilled
Yeah.
in every aspect of your life.
Exactly. She sees prosperity
Right.
as a holistic concept.
And she believes that our beliefs about money can greatly influence our experiences. So if you believe that money is scarce, or that you're not worthy of wealth, you might unconsciously sabotage your financial success.
Precisely. She encourages you to examine any limiting beliefs you might have inherited or developed over time.
Right. Beliefs like money is the root of all evil.
Precisely.
Yeah.
Or rich people are greedy.
Those beliefs can really hold you back.
They can.
Yeah.
Hay suggests replacing those limiting beliefs with more positive and empowering ones.
Okay, like what?
Like, I am open and receptive to the abundant flow of prosperity that the universe offers.
Wow.
Or, I am worthy of receiving financial blessings.
It's about shifting your mindset from scarcity to abundance.
And it's about taking action.
Okay.
Hay encourages you to be proactive about your finances,
Okay.
to learn about money management, and to seek out opportunities to increase your income.
It's about taking control of your financial well-being and creating a life of abundance.
And speaking of creating Hay, Hay also has a lot to say about creativity.
Oh, interesting.
She believes that everyone is creative in their own way.
Okay.
And that expressing our creativity is essential for our well-being.
I love that.
Yeah.
It's not just about being an artist or a musician.
Right.
It's about bringing that creative spark to everything we do.
Exactly.
Right.
It could be cooking, gardening, decorating your home, or even just coming up with new ideas at work.
Yeah.
Hay encourages us to find those activities that spark our joy.
Right.
And to make time for them in our lives.
It's about nurturing that creative spirit within us and allowing it to flow.
And she also talks about the importance of playfulness and having fun.
Right, right.
She believes that laughter is healing.
Okay.
And that allowing ourselves to be silly and lighthearted
can
have a profound impact on our well-being.
It's about not taking ourselves too seriously.
Exactly.
Right.
Life is meant to be enjoyed. And Hay reminds us to find those moments of joy and laughter in every day.
It's like that saying, don't forget to stop and smell the roses.
And speaking of roses, Hay has a lot to say about the body.
We touched on that earlier, but I'm ready to dive deeper into her insights.
Oh,
she has a whole book dedicated to the body, right?
She does.
Okay.
It's called Heal Your Body.
Okay.
And it goes even further into the connection between the mind and body.
Right.
It's like a dictionary of ailments.
Wow.
Offering insights into the potential emotional and mental patterns that might be contributing to various physical conditions.
I'm so intrigued by this whole concept. Can you give me a few examples from the book? Like, what does she say about headaches?
Well, Hay suggests that headaches might be related to self-criticism.
Okay.
Invalidating your own thoughts and feelings, or putting too much pressure on yourself.
So, if you're constantly second-guessing yourself,
or
striving for perfection, you might be more prone to headaches.
That's the idea.
Okay.
It's about recognizing that our thoughts and emotions can manifest in physical ways.
It's like our bodies are trying to tell us something.
Exactly. And the key is to listen.
Right.
Hay encourages you to pay attention to your symptoms and to explore the potential emotional and mental patterns that might be contributing to your physical discomfort.
So it's not just about treating the symptom. It's about addressing the root cause.
And Hay also emphasizes the importance of self-love and self-acceptance, particularly when it comes to our bodies.
So it's not just about eating right and exercising, but about having a positive relationship with our bodies.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Hay encourages us to appreciate our bodies, to treat them with kindness and respect, and to release any judgment or criticism we might be holding on to.
I think that's a really important message.
Yeah.
Especially in a culture that's so focused on physical appearance.
It's about shifting our focus from what we dislike about our bodies to what we appreciate about them.
It's about recognizing that our bodies are amazing.
Yeah.
And that they deserve our love and care.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And Hay even suggests practices.
Yeah.
Like looking in the mirror and saying, I love you to ourselves. Or expressing gratitude for all the amazing things our bodies do for us.
It's about cultivating a positive relationship with our bodies. And it's about recognizing that our bodies are not separate from our minds and spirits. They're all interconnected.
Yeah.
And when we nourish and care for ourselves on all levels, we experience greater health and well-being.
That's one of Hay's core messages. She believed that true healing encompasses all aspects of our being, mind, body, and spirit.
It's a holistic approach to healing and to life itself. And speaking of healing, we've talked a lot about Hay's ideas,
Right.
But what about her own story? She had her own journey of healing, right?
She did.
Okay.
And it's quite an extraordinary one.
I'm really curious to hear more about that.
So yeah, before we were talking about Louise Hay's personal healing journey.
Right? She had like a really tough childhood, right?
Yeah. Lots of poverty, neglect, even abuse.
Wow.
It really impacted her sense of self-worth.
Right.
Later in life, she was diagnosed with cervical cancer.
Oh, wow.
This was back in the 1970s, when the conventional medical approach was often pretty harsh.
I can't even imagine
Yeah.
facing that diagnosis back then.
Hay was really drawn to alternative healing methods.
Okay.
She started exploring things like affirmations, visualization, and nutrition.
Right. Right.
And get this, she believed she could heal herself.
Wow.
Through changing her thoughts and beliefs.
Wow, that's a radical idea, especially back then.
It was. But she was committed to this path. She started practicing forgiveness.
Okay.
Releasing resentment towards those who had hurt her in the past.
Right.
Including her parents.
Wow.
And she really, really focused on cultivating self-love and self-acceptance.
It's like she took all those principles we've been talking about and applied them to her own life.
Exactly. And the amazing thing is, it worked.
Wow.
Her cancer went into remission.
Wow.
And Hay attributed her healing to this mind-body approach.
That's incredible. I can see why her story would resonate with so many people. It's a message of hope and empowerment.
It really is. And her experience led her to write You Can Heal Your Life.
Right. Yeah.
Which became a global phenomenon. It's touched millions of lives.
Yeah.
Inspiring people to take control of their health and well-being.
It's a testament to the power of the mind-body connection and the belief in our own capacity to heal. I'm curious, what were some of the most common issues people came to Hay with when they sought her help?
Hay worked with people from all walks of life, facing all sorts of challenges.
Yeah.
But one common thread was this underlying belief of not being good enough.
Oh, wow.
It could manifest in low self-esteem, relationship problems, career struggles, financial worries, all sorts of ways.
And I bet those I should statements we talked about earlier were pretty common.
Absolutely. Those shoulds often stem from that feeling of not being good enough, leading to guilt and pressure.
Yeah.
Hay's approach was all about helping people break free from those self-imposed limitations.
So instead of focusing on what's wrong with us, she encouraged people to embrace their strengths and to cultivate self-love.
Exactly. She helped people recognize their own inherent worthiness and to see themselves as capable of creating positive change.
One thing that really struck me in the book was Hay's discussion of forgiveness, particularly the concept of forgiving our parents. It can be so difficult to let go of those past hurts, especially when it comes to our families.
It is. But Hay was adamant that forgiveness is essential for healing.
Right.
She believed that holding on to anger and resentment only keeps us stuck in the past, preventing us from moving forward. And she really emphasized that forgiveness is not about condoning someone's actions, but about freeing ourselves from the burden of that resentment.
It's about releasing that negative energy and creating space for healing.
And she even provided practical tools to help with the forgiveness process.
Okay.
like that visualization exercise we talked about earlier, dissolving resentment.
Right, where you picture the person you need to forgive as a small child. Innocent and vulnerable. I can see how that could shift your perspective and maybe even generate some compassion.
Exactly. It's about seeing them in a new light, recognizing that they were likely acting from their own pain and limitations.
Right.
And Hay believed that understanding our parents' own struggles can help us release the resentment we might be holding on to.
It's about breaking free from those cycles of pain and choosing a path of healing.
And one of the biggest obstacles to healing, according to Hay, is this need. This need for things to be a certain way. It often stems from fear and insecurity.
Right.
And it creates a lot of unnecessary suffering.
So if I'm constantly worried about my kids getting perfect grades or my partner behaving exactly how I want them to, I'm clinging to this idea of how things should be rather than accepting what is.
Precisely.
Okay.
Hay would say that releasing that need is crucial for finding peace and freedom.
Yeah.
It's about surrendering control and trusting that everything is unfolding as it should.
It's about letting go of our expectations.
Yeah.
And allowing life to surprise us.
And she even provides an exercise.
Oh, does she?
To help with this.
Okay.
Called releasing the need.
Okay.
It involves acknowledging those things we're clinging to and consciously choosing to let them go.
Right.
It might involve repeating affirmations like, I release the need for this to be different.
Yeah.
Or, I trust that everything is unfolding as it should.
Right.
It's a practice in letting go and trusting the process.
I think that's something we could all benefit from.
Absolutely. And it ties into one of Hay's core messages.
Okay.
That we are not powerless victims.
Right.
We have the power to choose our thoughts. And by doing so, we can shape our experiences and create positive change in our lives.
It's such an empowering message.
Isn't it?
Instead of feeling like we're at the mercy of our circumstances, we can actively choose to create a life that feels good.
And Hay's work reminds us that healing is possible, that transformation is within our reach, and that we have the innate capacity to create lives filled with joy, love, and well-being.
It's a message of hope and possibility, a reminder that we have more control over our lives than we often realize.
And that we are not alone on this journey.
Right. Hay created a global community of people who are committed to personal growth and healing.
Right.
And her legacy continues to inspire people all over the world.
Her work has certainly had a profound impact on me.
Yeah.
And I hope our listeners feel inspired as well. It's been an incredible journey exploring these ideas together.
It has. So as we wrap up this deep dive into You Can Heal Your Life, what are some key takeaways you hope our listeners will take with them?
I think one of the most important takeaways is that our thoughts have power. What we focus on expands.
Right.
So it's crucial to be mindful of the stories we're telling ourselves. And to choose thoughts that support our well-being.
That's such a great point. It's about becoming aware of our self-talk.
Yeah.
And making a conscious effort to shift from negative to positive.
And another key takeaway is that self-love is essential for healing.
Right.
When we learn to love and accept ourselves, we create a foundation for positive change in all areas of our lives.
It's about recognizing our inherent worthiness and treating ourselves with kindness and compassion.
And finally, I hope our listeners will remember that healing is a journey, not a destination. It's an ongoing process of growth and evolution. There will be ups and downs, but it's important to keep moving forward, to keep learning, and to keep believing in our own capacity to heal.
That's such a beautiful message.
Right.
It's about embracing the journey and trusting that we have everything we need within us to create a life filled with joy, love, and abundance.
And remember, Hay's book is just a starting point.
Right.
There are so many resources available to support you on your healing journey. Don't hesitate to reach out for help if you need it.
Right.
There are therapists, coaches, healers, and support groups all over the world. You are not alone.
That's so important to remember. We're all in this together.
Yeah.
And as Hay would say, every experience is a success.
Yes.
So keep exploring, keep growing, and keep believing in your own power to heal your life.
Beautifully said.
And with that, we'll wrap up this deep dive. We hope you've enjoyed it and found it insightful. Until next time, take care of yourselves and keep those positive thoughts flowing.